Hey guys, what is up? It is me, Pagey here, once again with another video on Arrow Season 6, and this is going to be my review for episode 21 of this season, otherwise entitled, let me have a look at it again, docket number 11, 19, 41, 73. Now that title in itself is an Easter egg for Green Arrow's first appearance in the comics, which was November, so the number 11 for the month, November 19th, so 19, 11, 19. 1941, so the 41, and it was in issue number 73 of, I think, More Fun Comics, so the 73. So 11, 19, 41, 73. So, yeah. So before we go through the rest of the episode, there's going to be spoilers in this video because it's going to be, talking about spoilers in the big parts of the episode. So if you've not watched the episode, go do that now. But if you are continuing, be sure to let me know in the comment section down below your favourite parts of the episode, parts you didn't like too much, just your general overall thoughts on the episode, let me know in the comment section down below. And of course, if you're going to enjoy the video, it'd be awesome if you could drop a like on the video and subscribe to the channel if you're new. So the main big part I want to talk about from last episode leading into this episode is that Oliver and Diaz had their first real physical encounter. And the deal was, whoever stayed on the floor had to leave Star City. Diaz cheated, it's not really that surprising, really. And Diaz doesn't make Oliver leave Star City. He's like, you know what, you can stay here, but, it's going to be in prison. Now, Oliver's on trial for, being the Green Arrow, essentially, and all the things he did while being the Green Arrow. The episode actually starts off with Diggle and Kaznir. I was like, is this a flashback? What's going on here? Now, Kaznir we've been to a couple of times in both, I think Supergirl's mentioned Kaznir, but Arrow's been there a couple of times, as well as Legends. So we went to Kaznir. I thought it was a flashback, to be completely honest, but Diggle was actually there fighting in Kaznir for Argus, and he rescues someone. Now, we can't see, it's all blacked out, but straight away I knew who it was as well by the voice, and that's Christopher Chance, aka the Human Target. Now, it was pretty funny when Oliver was walking, to meet with Jean Loring, the lawyer, and all the media and stuff was there. I'm pretty sure someone said, do you know who the Flash is? Did anyone else hear that on the episode? I thought I heard it in the back, and I was like, hold on, did someone just ask Oliver if he knew who the Flash was? Did anyone else hear that? Because I'm pretty sure that was a thing. But essentially, when Oliver meets with Jean Loring, he's not taking any kind of deal, like a reduced, prison sentence or anything like that. He wants to be acquitted of all of his charges. So Oliver's dead set on being like, yo, I'm not admitting that I'm the Green Arrow to anyone, because he's not only protecting himself, but he's protecting the people around him. Not only Felicity and William, but also the people that were involved with him, Diggle and all of them. Now, when we jumped into the court case, I think Curtis referenced, this was bigger than OJ. I think he said OJ. I don't think it was as bigger than OJ. I don't know. It might have been, I guess. I don't know. But the Alex Van Owen, I think her name was, the person who was, with Star City and, prosecuting against Oliver. She is General Hale on Agents of S.H.I.E.L.D. Now, she was in the trailer for this episode, but I didn't even really notice it. And so I looked at the promo images for this episode, and I was like, oh, it's General Hale. Because her hair's always done up, for the most part, in Agents of S.H.I.E.L.D. Sometimes it's down, but it's usually up for the most part. But then in this episode, it's obviously down. So I didn't notice until I saw the promo images that it's General Hale. So we had, a bit of a DC Marvel crossover throughout this episode, if you really want to stretch it that much. Now, one of the more tense moments of this episode was definitely when Diaz brought in Zoe, so Renee's daughter, and just sits her down, backpack and all, obviously just whipped her away from school when Renee's on the stand. And I was like, okay, what's going to happen here? You could just see the fear in Renee's eyes. And I was like, holy crap, this is pretty tense. But it essentially forced Renee to be like, yep, Oliver's Green Arrow, I don't know how many people he's killed, too many to count. Just basically dish everything. And yeah, it sort of put Oliver in a sticky situation, but it also adds to the end result of this court case, which I thought was pretty interesting. Some people might have issues with it, but we'll talk about that towards the end of this video. The Diggle and Dinah conflict with Dragon in the streets, a bit random, to be completely honest. I thought there might have been more to it, but maybe it's just to show Dragon's just control on the police force. It's just you can't do anything to him in an open situation. The city doesn't know who Dragon is. They make that clear, or Diaz is. They make that pretty clear a couple times in this episode. They've made it clear in the past few episodes as well. Diaz is just this shadow in the city. Everyone just thinks he's just just drug dude. There's nothing to him. He's not this crime boss or anything like that. He's just some, drug pusher. No one thinks he's as big as he is, but that's because he's got control in certain parts of the city that can, dim down, his notoriety, if that's the correct way to put it. So yeah, it's a pretty powerful scene in regards to that, just showing his control. But I thought Diggle and Dinah might have done a bit more in that situation. I don't know if I'm nitpicking there, but let's just move on. Now, we get to the big part, I guess it's like the big part of the episode, I guess, or one of the bigger parts of the episode. And that's when Oliver is just getting pressed to hell about being the Green Arrow and his various history within not only Star City, but also when he was on the island. And obviously Susan Williams is brought back up, and that photo we had last year of Oliver in Russia, that gets brought back up. So I think Susan Williams was mentioned once or twice this season. She just sort of disappeared off the face of the planet. But she was brought back for this case, which makes sense because she had evidence against Oliver. But essentially, Oliver has to be like, yo, okay, well, I wasn't on Lian Yu for those 5 years. I spent some time in Hong Kong, as well as that photo to suggest. I also spent time on Russia. But this is when we get the boom, here you go moments when Green Arrow falls through a skylight that's in the courtroom. That's very handy that there's a skylight. Anyway, he falls through the skylight, and well, it's not Green Arrow, but it's actually Tommy Merlin, and it cut to commercial right at that point, which was typical. Now, this was in the trailer, and a lot of people were upset that it was in the trailer. I knew, I think if you read the certain things going on behind the scenes, I think they even released a couple of media statements about who was in this episode. You knew Tommy was coming back for this episode, or Colin Donnell, who plays Tommy, was going to be in this episode. I was surprised they put it in the trailer, his big entrance, because I didn't know he'd be dressing up as Green Arrow. Even with the people that I talked to who are on set and stuff, they didn't tell me that he was in the Green Arrow suit or anything like that. So I'm shocked that he was actually in the trailer, because it spoiled that moment. That would have been a really cool entrance. Even though you could have got a hint that it might have been Tommy, if you knew he was coming back. But I'm just shocked they put that in the trailer, to be completely honest. Because there was heaps more stuff in this episode you could have shown that trailer rather than that big moment, but I'm guessing they just wanted viewers for the episode maybe, so that might be why they did it. But it comes as no surprise, if you knew that was Christopher Chance or Human Target at the beginning of the episode that Diggle was rescuing, you could easily put two and two together and you knew that Tommy Merlin was actually Human Target. So for me, it wasn't the biggest reveal, but for others that maybe weren't paying attention at the beginning of the episode and stuff, it might have come as oh, that's a big shock moment. Now, we had the Laurel and Diaz conflict where basically there was a bit of domestic violence there, which I wasn't too happy about. But Laurel basically defends Oliver and says, yo, Tommy is Green Arrow. And Diaz, I thought he was going to lose his crap at that moment. He was just going to flip stuff. But his face looked like it was going to explode. He turned into a tomato almost. But he managed to hold it back and just hold back his anger for a tiny bit. But yeah, well, it continues on, but I think this is all leading up to some stuff that's going to happen in the last episode, at least in regards to the Lance family. So I think Laurel's starting to get not scared of Diaz. Last episode, she revealed her fear, but she's definitely going against that fear now and confronting it and just going against Diaz and being screw him. I'm just going to side with this side because I think it's the better one to side with. Now, Oliver was found guilty by the jury, but he was let free and wasn't convicted due to reasonable doubt. And I was like, okay, I don't think that necessarily makes 100% sense. I guess because the judge ruled on it, it made sense. So that's why he was just let go. But I was thinking, would that just happen straight away? I thought there might be some sort of deliberation process or something. I'm not a legal expert, just from my best guess, I guess. That there would be some sort of deliberation process after that. Just wouldn't be oh, you're out of prison, you're free now. I thought that wouldn't happen so quick. But we do find out that the Human Target was actually impersonating the judge. That actually caught me by surprise. I wasn't expecting that. Because the whole thing happened where they got in the van and left. So I thought due to that, Human Target was just gone and they were going to put him somewhere else to get the Tommy Merlin away from the scene. So I wasn't expecting Human Target to actually impersonate the judge. Because the whole episode I was thinking, okay, this judge is completely biased. He's definitely on Diaz's radar, or Diaz's payment books, if you want to call it. So I was sort of surprised, okay, this is weird. But when you look back at it, okay, I guess it makes sense. I was just a bit confused how Human Target would have got back there. But anyway. But Renee, this episode, was sort of willing to, work things out with Oliver, even though he had to go against Oliver to protect Zoe. But I think it was a good idea to make it that it was Renee's idea to do the whole judge thing, Human Target impersonating the judge. I thought that was actually a good thing to do, and a smart one to do as well. But this comes as no surprise. Diaz had the shits with Laurel, so he took all that anger out on who else? The judge that actually let Oliver go. So I'm really interested to see what happens with Diaz next episode, because then we get Laurel coming up against Diaz. Actually, because I was on the Discord chat. If you don't follow my Discord, link will be in the description below. I was in the live spoiler chat for the Arrow stuff, and a lot of people saying like, scream at him, when they had that initial conflict when Diaz had Laurel by the throat. So I was like, okay, when she showed up, I think she had the gun in her hand. I was like, okay, well, something's gonna happen here. And she actually eventually screamed. I thought, what's gonna happen here? Is she actually gonna do something to Diaz? Was actually gonna do the thing to Diaz that she did to Vigilante by screaming in his ear, but Diaz actually has like the sonic reducer thing, the thing that Curtis sort of had last season as well to take on Black Siren. So Diaz has one of those, and yeah, Laurel just doesn't win in that situation. It's gonna be interesting to see what happens to her next episode in regards to her safety, but also what Diaz does in his hunt to take on Oliver Queen as well as the people that he cares about. But overall, even though there was like little action in this episode, I thought it was a really riveting, intense episode. And I think it's an episode that fits in the final three, because this is the third last episode of the season. We only have two more, or one more before the finale. So I think this episode fits. And it sounds weird, like an episode with no action, no fights really for the most part, no like explosions and stuff like that. Apart from, I guess we had the Diggle explosions where he was pretending he was playing real life PUBG. But it was like a weird episode in regards to Arrow, but it fits so well in this in the season and what the story's going for. So I really enjoyed the episode, really tense moments, and I really have nothing wrong with it, to be completely honest. I thought it was pretty damn good, except maybe as I said, maybe the ruling by the judge, like human target as the judge. I thought there might have been a bit of a deliberation process, but I guess I had to make things move along quickly. But yeah, for the rest of it, I thought it was a really riveting and enjoyable episode. But thanks for watching, guys. Hopefully you enjoyed the video. If you did, it'd be awesome if you could drop a like on the video to show support. Let me know in the comment section down below your various opinions on this episode. What did you like? What did you not like? What would you just leave your general thoughts in the comments. Interested to read them. And of course, if you are new to the channel, make sure to subscribe. And I'll catch you later, guys. Goodbye.